Hello, and welcome to my radio show channel, The Sound Within. My name is Hannah Rose, and today's episode is Energy Exchange. Before I dove into today's episode, I did just want to take the time to say how honored I am to be a part of the Eye Openers Society and to be given my own platform to have a voice on aside from my TikTok streaming. So thank you, Gary, for having me as a part of your beautiful vision. I think that this society that you have built starting in 2022 is an amazing platform with so many cool individuals that have really important stuff to say, and I think that you giving them an uncensored platform to voice that on is just amazing and beautiful. For my first episode, although I haven't been a guest on the Eye Opener Society just yet, I wanted to talk about energy exchange. So energy exchange is an energetic connection, and it's typically seen as a vibrational interaction, which could be positive or negative. And typically it's between two people, but it's not limited to that. Not only can it manifest positive emotional resonance and unity, but it can also lead to exhaustion or feeling drained. And so I feel like it's important to point out that this can occur virtually, and it's not limited to in-person scenarios. And energy can and regularly travels way further than our fingertips. I always talk about that in my streams because I feel like it's extremely important. So many people have been programmed to believe that energy work is mumbo jumbo. And I strongly believe against that theory because it has been proven that energy does reach past our fingertips. Now, that can be through thermal energy or kinetic energy, but on a spiritual level, there are wavelengths attached to these vibrational poles that we're speaking of with energy exchange. And so the real question is, are you surrounding yourself with people who are helping to manifest that unity and positive emotional resonance, or people who are draining you and invoking negative feelings? Now, I know that earlier in the podcast, I mentioned that it's not limited to just people. So this isn't just one person exchanging energy with another. Energy exchange can happen through music, through TV, the news, an activity that you are partaking in. So that's why I feel like it is such an important topic to touch on. Because when we think about what we are consuming, we're typically thinking about food, coffee, alcohol, cigarettes, vapes. The list could go on. And so it's very important to me that I am intentional about what I am consuming. Now, I know this is my first episode, so you guys don't know much history on Hannah Rose. So I'll kind of fill you in. I do have obsessive compulsive disorder, and it has controlled many aspects of my life for quite some time. And so for me, what I'm consuming on a daily basis is extremely important for my well-being, mentally and physically. If I am consuming positivity and positive affirmations and loving and accepting spaces that I am allowing myself to be a part of, it's going to have a huge impact on my day. And it's also going to have a huge impact on how I treat others throughout my day. And how I treat others throughout my day might affect how they go about their day. And it's just a chain reaction in a way. And I have not always been such a positive person. And I believe it's because I wasn't integrating things that light me up throughout my day. I was just going about miserable, complaining about everything, unhappy about every scenario. And so my point of the matter is that what you are consuming is extremely important. And so to be aware of that and to be very intentional with that can have a huge impact on the energy exchange that you are experiencing with the people in your life, or the environment that you are in, or the activities that you are doing. So for me, when I do experience an energy that I am not necessarily feeling comfortable with, I will disengage from that energy because it's not serving me, and I recognize that it's not serving me. And so I usually say that out loud. I disengage from this energy, and I know it is not mine to hold. And I feel like that sentiment is very important to me, knowing that everything that I'm feeling, everything that I think is not mine to hold. Some of it is, and you should be proud of that, but not everything is yours to hold. And when I say that, I am really touching on the fact that I am in human design a generator. And so what that means is I have the majority of open centers. We have 9 centers in the Hindu chakra system, according to the Hindu chakra system. And so most of my centers are open, undefined, which means that I am absorbing the majority of energy from the people around me, the environments around me, the things that I'm listening to, the things that I'm watching, as I mentioned before. And so when it comes to energy exchange, I really want to bring awareness to grounding yourself. I would typically ground myself at this point after disengaging from the energy that does not serve me. And at that point, I would ground myself. So what that looks like for me is through intentional breath. Because we truly have the ability to truly feel the relief of the release of that exhale. and we are able to sigh out all of the stuck energy within. And this modality is so powerful, and it's so important to me and my well-being, and it's why I integrate it every day, which you can find on my TikTok at Hannah Rose 146. I typically go live daily, and I share my healing space in hopes that others are inspired to create their own healing space because of it. And so to kind of touch back on absorbing the energies around me, when I come back home to myself through intentional breath, I am able to see things for what they are and not through skewed thinking that is my brain, my logical brain, which I honor, and I trust and believe that my logical mind is looking out for me in the best possible way. But with my OCD, I can also recognize that my logical mind is not always telling me the truth. Sometimes it is telling me lies. Sometimes it's just trying to think of all of the possible scenarios that could happen throughout the day, throughout life. But if I really reflect on that, that doesn't serve me. What serves me is here and now, and all of the beauty that I am gifted with. And so this powerful modality that I'm speaking of, intentional breath, shamanic breathing, it was brought into my heart by my beautiful friend and mentor, Amber June, with Soulful Journeys. I discovered her on her TikTok streams about 4 to 5 months ago. And I integrated that practice twice a day for 15 weeks before I attended her plant medicine retreat that she hosts in Washington State. Her and her two best friends, Tarek and Megan. And I just have to say, I've learned so much from her, and I continue to gain more wisdom and more guidance as our friendship blossoms. You can find her on TikTok at It's Amber June. And of course, you can find her daily streams there as well, which absolutely changed my life for the better and has invited so much love and light into my life. So much light into a place for me that was not very light. I was in the dark, and I was going through a lot. And so for her to hold the space for me that she has, it's allowed me to really tap into the true essence of who I am and really dive into things that light me up and bring me joy and bring me peace. And so that energy exchange that I experienced with her and that I continue to experience each time we interact is a very powerful thing. And it created that unity and that emotional resonance that I'm speaking of.